Today on the KrakCast, we're going to talk about rugby. As this is something I don't know very much about, I'm joined in the studio by Mark Bryan from Krakow Rugby Festival and also representing Juvenia Krakow RFC. Mark, welcome to the KrakCast.
Thank you, Josh. It's great to be here.
So, what brings together an Englishman, the sport of rugby, in the city of Krakow? Or, to put it another way, tell us a bit about yourself and how you came to be here.
Well, I met my wife, Asha, in Rome. I was living in Rome at the time, and we decided to come to Krakow for work purposes. And that was about 7 years ago now. Since then, I've always been a rugby player. It was quite big in Italy. In fact, Italy joined the Six Nations, which I'm very thankful to Canal Plus because they put the tournament on every year. So I get to stay in touch with it.
Right, good great. Job you have Italian connections rather than any particularly strong English one. That's about the limit of my rugby knowledge, but England don't seem to be covering themselves in glory.
Well, I followed Poland naturally because being here, and unfortunately, Poland to qualify for the Six Nations have to get their rankings up. Though, according to me, it would be a great country to introduce to the Six Nations because there are over 1 million people in Great Britain, 1 million Polish people. So it would be quite beneficial, actually, for the Six Nations to consider Poland. But unfortunately, there are 2 or 3 teams which are quite strong.
Right. Well, that really brings me back to my next question, which is rugby something that's very popular here? I must confess I haven't really come across it.
Yeah, this is what I thought. I thought Poland, rugby, they won't know anything. But then I found there's an actual rugby club here, Juvenia Krakow. And I've got to know the club, got to know some of the players and the management, and we're collaborating as such. And I recruit kids, a little bit of coaching as well for them. And with the Krakow Rugby Festival, and I got into that by accident as well, because 3 years ago, another English guy living here asked me to host the Krakow Rugby Festival. And I thought, wow, yeah, okay, I'll take it on. And ever since the first edition in 2016, which, by the way, was when Juvenia Krakow qualified for the Extra Liga, so they play top flight rugby in Poland too. So that's a big plus. We get some very, very good teams coming to Krakow, and we go as often as we can. So I hosted it, and the management said, hey, would you like a job?
Okay. So what does hosting a rugby festival involve? I think we're all eager to know.
Well, the first year, I was a little skimpy at holding, speaking in front of everybody with these big burly rugby players and beer swilling. But by the end of the festival, I got used to it, and we're now into the 3rd year, and I'm a pure natural now. Now I have everything prepared. Little things like, you got to send me the nicknames of all your teams, yeah? And I've invented games like Drop Kick the Bucket, where the teams have to drop kick the ball into a bucket.
So when you say you're hosting this, I mean, you are literally like holding a microphone and hosting this. And isn't that correct? You're speaking to everybody present and being like the master of ceremonies. Is that?
Yeah, that's correct. I'm there all day, 2 days under the boiling sun, and it's a great laugh. And one of the special features about the Krakow Rugby Festival is we have this package deal where it includes free beer, which means that even when you're playing, you can have a beer if you want to. Uh-huh. And it's kind of exhibition rugby. It's competitive, but nobody dies for their country or their team. It's exhibition rugby. So whenever someone scores a try, they're always handed a pint of beer, and they either drink some and pour it on their heads because it's so hot, or they drink all of it. But it really does push and represent this very unique rugby family spirit. If you play rugby, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't play rugby, you should come down and see us, I think.
Okay, so this gathers together rugby players, fans of rugby from around the world and around Europe. Is that right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have teams that come along and they play games against each other, or is it more like some kind of scaled down competition or whatever? I'm not entirely clear what, or is it just drinking beer and looking at rugby?
Well, the first rule of rugby is drinking beer. But we managed to organize a very, very good competition. We have everyone is a winner, put it that way. We have 3 categories. The top teams play each other. They're the champions. Then we have the second category, which is the elite category. And then we have the cracking category. They're usually the more drunk ones.
Okay. Well, yeah, this obviously sounds like something well suited for the beer enthusiasts among us.
But it is quite well organized, and the teams come from all over the world. Naturally, one of the biggest presenters comes from Europe, especially the UK. We have teams every year from England, Scotland, Ireland. And not Wales so much. Come on, Welsh guys. Come on, get over to us. But France, especially, France always put in 2 or 3 teams. This year we have teams from Germany, and we're still waiting on Italy. Italy need to move a little and come into this. But we've had teams. This year we've got teams from the United Arab Emirates.
Oh, right. They surely won't be indulging in the beer, though, will they?
Oh, yes, because they're all Brits, aren't they?
Oh, I see. Now, I noticed something interesting here, that this is the 3rd festival, but actually there's also going to be a women's edition this year for the first time.
Oh, yes, we're so pleased. In the last 2 years, the festival has just grown, and people really, really pay us a lot of compliments. And they've also said, what about the women? So now we've knuckled down and we've kind of molded the men's side. We've got a lot of experience, and we can use that now and extend it to the women. And I'm happy to say we have a women's team from Doha, Qatar, but they're mainly Brit teachers over there who like to play rugby. So they'll be joining us. We have the Uwenia Krakow's Kobiety, the women's team. They're joining in. And there'll be a few other teams. One very large group, the Hampstead ladies, are coming from London.
Uh-huh. Now then, so we're talking a lot about the participants, but what is there anything in this for the general public? Can people kind of go down and watch male and female rugby players drinking beer and competing strengthily?
Well, yes, of course. This year we've made a special point of inviting the general public, so they will be able to contribute to the beer drinking if they wish. We have our own special brand of beer, which will be present on the side of the pitch and easily accessible for everyone. Of course, if you prefer to eat, we will provide something to eat. And there's games and entertainment and a little bit of fun for everyone, both on the pitch and off the pitch.
Oh, well, that sounds great. So the club itself is located on Błonia, right?
Yeah, the exact address is Ulica Błoniak 7. Shedham.
Oh, right, yeah. So that's the far end from the National Museum and the Alea, isn't it? So.
Yeah. When you go past the Krakow Stadium on your left, you just go straight down, and then you come to a metal bridge over a little stream. Don't go over the bridge, turn right, and that's the Uwenia ground.
And you'll probably hear the sound of oval balls being firmly kicked and beer being quaffed. Well, I have to say, that this all really sounds very interesting. Thank you very much, Mark, for coming with us and joining us today and telling us about the Krakow Rugby Festival.
Oh, and Josh, just before I go, I would love to say that this year we have a very, very important sponsor, and that's Interia PL, who are our patrons. So we're very pleased that a local community are joining in, especially through helping us set up this festival. And once again, I make a plea, please come down, especially on the Sunday. The Sunday are all the finals, so you get to see a good game of rugby, very competitive, but the celebrations afterwards and the off-pitch entertainment is something not to be missed. I know, I'm in it, but that's my opinion.
Okay, very good. And yes, a big up once again to Interia.pl for sponsoring the thing. I'm sure they appreciate the mention. And of course, if they're interested in sponsoring the KrakCast, you can contact us via the email address or on our Facebook page. The Krakow Rugby Festival will be taking place from Friday, June 22nd until Sunday, June the 24th at the Juvenia Krakow Rugby Club, ulica Błoniach 7. Mark, once again, thank you very much for joining us today. This has been the KrakCast.
Thank you, Josh.